after we stop and think, what we need to do is investigate the source, okay? Learn more about them if we're not familiar with them already. So in the instance that I just shared with you, if you found an article off that CNET network site, you're going to want to investigate them. You're going to want to see who is creating this information, where this information is coming from, figuring out if they have an agenda or if they're biased. Okay, and I have a few resources on the slide for you to use to investigate a resource. And the very first one, remember, you can click on all of these. Okay, if you click into this, it's just an enlarged image. These are bias ratings for very popular news outlets. So in your research, if you are finding, or if you're looking for a current event article or something along those lines, you will probably be using one of these resources. Be aware that pretty much everything is biased these days. All right, the most central or unbiased information that you are going to find on the internet is in the central most column. So these are great, and these are where you should be going first, frankly, if you are just using a popular resource, okay, as opposed to an academic resource. We're going to be talking about the differences between those two in the next video, actually. Okay, so just be aware. I would suggest to you just to stick to the resources in these three columns and don't even bother with the very, very far left and the very, very far right. Those are so biased that they actually twist facts to the point where it's not even accurate anymore. Okay, but of course the best way to research is to have a healthy balance. So if maybe you find something from The Atlantic that supports one part of your research statement thesis, then maybe you should find something on the right side to balance it out, okay? If not, just stick with the central column. That's the sweet spot, okay? Also think about, in order to investigate a source, you can learn more about them. And to learn more about them, click into their About Us page. Whenever you go onto a website, there's always an About Us information tab, okay, without fail. Click into it, okay? Again, going back to our previous example, if I'm on CNET Network's website, I know nothing about them, I'm going to click into their About Us page, okay? That's going to give me bios of the editor, the writers, an overall feel of what their organization stands for, and it's going to help me to determine bias, all right? Lastly, check the domain name, all right? Be aware of that domain name, and here's exactly what I mean. Okay, at the end of every single URL, it's either going to be a .com, .edu, .gov, .org, any of those. Know that a .com website is the most commercial. So that means pretty much anyone can create a .com website. So that should really, really raise your skeptical alarms, because if anyone can create it, how do you know it is credible information coming from an expert? Okay, whereas a .edu and a .gov, they're more reliable because it's coming from an educational institution or a government institution. So make sure that's in the back of your mind as well.